Well, we're live, and whew, it was a bit of a panic there. We're fashionably late today, which is it's always a good thing being a bit late on occasion. On occasion, right? So today, Kim's driving, and yeah, we are literally we're going to talk about coaching. We're going to talk about continual learning and that kind of good stuff, right? And I'm big into that. So I think the first thing is, well, we're going to talk about three things: the best ways to learn and grow continually, how can coaches build their own well of knowledge, and thoughts on why coaching is important and how one becomes a better coach. So I think the first thing is really the best ways to learn and grow continually. I mean, I know you know a lot more about kind of learning styles than I do, right, Kim? But as far as I'm concerned, you know, I personally learn from all sorts of angles. I learn from, you know, watching Netflix. I learn, you know, from watching videos, listening to podcasts, reading. Have you got anything sort of add on the best ways to learn and kind of grow continually?
Yeah, so I guess it's about finding the learning style that works for you. So obviously, in the varying learning styles, some people are activists. They want to just get straight in there and get on with it, and other people want to reflect. Some people want to get to understand the theory, and you know, it's about finding out which one best works for you, and then you know, making sure that you do that and you continuously find ways to learn. I mean, if we think about it, the way we've both been reading or listening to the same book, and your way of doing it is to listen to each chapter and really think about it. Mine was to bomb all the way through the book and take the key. Neither one of them's right. It's about finding the one that is right for you. But you know, as my nan always said, and I say this a lot, every day is a school day. So it's looking in every day and going, what can I learn from this? You know, we had a really frustrating morning, didn't we, where we had things that didn't go quite so well, and we had to deal with some technical stuff that is never going to fill me with joy. But we made it through, and we learned that actually we should have planned the day differently. We knew that I was in the car, and we could have done, but we're learning. So sometimes we learn something brand new, as in a new skill, or you know, new technique, and sometimes we just learn something about ourselves and how best we operate. And it's just about keeping that, I guess it's keeping that passionate curiosity to continue to develop.
Yeah, very much so, and sort of remaining within that childish curiosity, because children learn by having fun, right? And usually we learn by having fun, let's be honest. All right, today was a little bit difficult. It was, you know, we've drawn a line under it and we've moved beyond it, right? But you know, we're constantly learning to create our futures. I mean, that's basically what we're doing. We are creating our futures by learning, right? So,
Yeah.
So for example, if you don't know something and you have a slight interest in that space, like, it's great to just literally just pick it up and get into it. I mean, you can find courseware is open courseware from MIT, was launched 20 years ago, actually, is the anniversary, whereby MIT just decided they're going to give away thousands of courses. So you can pretty much learn anything you want in life. But it's like, I personally think you need to actually have, oh, look, we've got someone saying, how dangerous is this? Thank you, David. That's very kind. I don't think it's dangerous. People talk on the phone all the time. She's got hands free. Anyway, yeah, I think that literally, you know, the best way to learn is to just learn, just do it, right? And literally just get on with it and, you know, take action, yeah? And literally just enjoy what you're doing. I mean, that's the most important thing, is when you're learning something, you've got to enjoy what you're doing, you know? Have you got anything to add to that?
No, I think it is about finding, you know, it's about finding the enjoyment, isn't it? And seeing, you know, what is it that we can, how do we make the learning fun? And I guess that's why you pick the learning style that works for you, because that's going to be the one that delivers the biggest return for you.
Right, exactly. So how do you think coaches can build their own well of knowledge then, Kim?
So I guess it's to continue to develop and to speak to other coaches, to look at what courses there are that are available. To kind of, that's why there are, kind of coaching federations, coaching clubs. It's one of the reasons we've launched the Elite Coaches Club, is actually to create a space where we can learn together and we can develop and grow. Because if we grow, if we increase our skills, then actually we're better placed to be able to serve. And as coaches, that's what we're here to do, to serve others, to help them be the best. But as you know, and I say this all the time, we all have blind spots for a reason. We're blind to them, and therefore the more that you can engage in your own development and keep learning, the easier it is for you to overcome your blind spots. And just because you've overcome some doesn't mean to say that you're not going to identify other blind spots. So it's kind of keeping that going, isn't it? Because until we hit a new situation or something new to be able to learn, then we don't know whether or not we're good at it or we're not good at it. And that's true also of coaching, I guess.
Yeah, very much so. And there are going to be certain things that you're suited to do more than other people are, right? And just based on your prior experience and your personality type and everything else. Like you and I, we just learn by doing a lot of the time. Like if you try and give us a rule book, we just throw it in the bin and try and kind of build it ourselves, yeah. And that's just who we are and how we kind of roll, right? But a lot of people, if you kind of give them a rule book, they'll get it from front to back, and then they'll like go through all the steps, yeah. Whereas others will just get stuck in and kind of try and get it to work for them, right? So I think it just depends really on the people, But the elitecoachesclub.com is out there. If anyone wants more information, if you're a coach or you want to become a coach, then that can really certainly help you. But on to our next question, right? So thoughts on why coaching is important and how one becomes a better coach. I'm not actually putting any comments on the screen, and Kim's not actually looking at the screen, believe it or not. It looks like she is, but she's not. But Izzy says some people learn vicariously too.
Absolutely. We learn in very different ways, and sometimes we learn in a real variety of ways. And I think it's about, as I said, just finding the one that works for you. I mean, for me, I've had and still have coaches, plus I've been a coach for a lot of years. And I guess how coaching helps is it's having that person that can see your blind spot, because you can't see it, you're blind to it. That's why it's a blind spot. So it's that person that can stand behind him and drive that focus for you. And I think that's why it's important. We can't see it always for ourselves. So we can't see where we get in our own way. But that's not just true of who we're coaching, that's true of us as coaches. And I always think you've got to walk your talk. I can't say to people that I think you should be you've got to continue to develop yourself, and you've got to focus on how you can deal with your blind spots, understand what they are, identify them and move forward, if I actually am arrogant enough to think I don't have any of my own.
Yeah, very much so. And I think, there will be elements in your life that you want to improve, right? Like, for example, you might want to build an amazing body, right? Like you might want to build a business, you might want to learn a new skill, you might want to learn how to fish, or you might want to learn how to shoot, or there are so many different skills that you may want to learn, right? So at the end of the day, you have a coach within that particular space, so that you can actually learn more about that skill and you can improve yourself. Yeah. So I think coaching is absolutely fundamentally important. I think that people who think that they don't need a coach, or they don't find information somewhere and actually absorb it, they're not. I don't know. I think it's probably quite tough for them to actually evolve. You know.
Yeah, and I guess it's just about finding the way that works for you. You know, some people want a coach, some people want a mentor, some people just want to do it themselves, and any of those is fine. Sometimes it doesn't have to be a professional coach. It can just be getting a peer group, a support group. It's people that can help you to see a different perspective, to see the bits that maybe you can't see.
Yeah, very much so. And sometimes you may outgrow a particular coach. You may get to the point whereby, they've basically done everything that they can for you, and that might not be the correct fit, right? Like sometimes, because it can go towards mentoring sometimes, right? Like, I know you say that sometimes, like, you'll coach someone, and then because you've actually been there and actually done what they're trying to do, you're in a position whereby you can say, well, look, I know I really should be coaching you here and asking you questions, but actually, do you mind if I jump into the mentoring space and actually mentor you around this particular skill set that you basically know more about than they do, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess it's about making sure that you're very honest, you're very transparent, and you're very clear on what it is that you're doing. If I'm coaching somebody, that's what I've contracted to do. If they get really stuck and they're just like, I don't know, could you not just tell me what you do in that situation? I'm like, well, of course I can, but I just need to let you know that means I'm moving for a moment into the mentoring space, which is fine, but it's about making sure that they know what it is that they're getting. And I think sometimes we muddle those terms. So to coach somebody, you don't need to know how to do what they're doing. You need to ask the right questions to unlock the answer that's within them. To mentor somebody, you need to have done what it is that they've done, so that you're almost able to reach back and pull them up to get them through the situation. And sometimes you need a combo.
Yeah. But sometimes, it all depends on their learning style as well, right? Because you might not be able to mentor someone, or you might not be able to coach someone, right? And that's a difficult place for them to be,
Yeah, because people have to be in the right place to be coached. And it's about being very careful. I always say to people, I'm not going to be the right coach for every person, and there'll be certain things where actually I'll just go, do not. You'd be better placed dealing with somebody who specialises in that area. And I'm very clear, I specialise in leadership and business strategy, and that's the space that I will coach in. But if it comes into the wider realms, then that's why I've got so many coaches in my network, and I build so many coaches so that I can introduce them to somebody who is going to be better placed to be able to help them.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. Well, thank you, Kim, for joining. It's been a pleasure. I know David Dresner thought it was very dangerous, but you've actually done your advanced driving. You're a very good driver, and
but to be fair, it wasn't my intention to do it whilst driving. Unfortunately, circumstances overtook, and I wouldn't recommend it. And I do appreciate everybody being kind enough to not mind the fact that I've not looked at the camera once, and you've had to watch me looking at my mirrors even more so, because one of the things that I'm very conscious of whenever I'm on the phone when I'm driving, and you're right, it's hands-free, but we are using part of our brain to be able to have that conversation. And so for me personally, one of the things that I do is I overcompensate on my visuals to make sure that I am being as alert, aware, and effective as I can be, because safety is massively, massively important. And I think sometimes we don't pay it enough due when we're just doing a phone call, and we think because the video's on, then actually that's more distracting. Well, it isn't. They're both the same if you're not looking at it.
yeah, very much so. And if you've been looking at me, I'm on the wrong setting. To be honest, I've got the setting that you've been threatening me with for days, and I put it on by accident myself, and I'm just like mortified.
Brilliant. I will look forward to looking at it when we play it back.
I've been trying to not even look at myself because I just don't like this setting at all on this camera, and I'm not going to change it because that would just be admitting defeat. Yeah, So I just can't do that. But anyway, if you've just joined us, please jump back on. Oh look, tried and crushed while video conferencing and driving. Take care. Oh well, thank you, Marcia. That's very kind. Yeah, Kim's a very good driver. She's got her advanced drive. She did some advanced driving lessons, I think, when you were with the bank, right, years ago. So
I did, but they're all really, really great points. You know, we have to be really, really careful, not just for ourselves, but for others.
very much. So well, don't worry. Soon I'll be by the sea, and I will do one of these with a nice view behind me. So I'll get my revenge. But thanks for tuning in, everyone. And if you are a coach and you want to jump on and check out elitecoachesclub.com, then you'll get some more information as to what we're actually doing. And if you want to become a coach, or you are a coach and you want to learn about us and what we're doing, then check it out, elitecoachesclub.com. And thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.
Take care.